Okay, thanks for being here. Um, yeah, we'll open up the talking circle around the topic of animal rights. So when you're ready to speak, just raise your hand, however you want to do it, and we'll each take about 4 minutes. We can go around again after. Well, since I'm already speaking, I guess I'll start. Um, thank you for being here. Uh, Personally, um, I stopped riding horses. I grew up riding horses. Horses were my, can you guys hear me okay? Okay. Horses were kind of like my sanity and my therapy and all that. And gosh, I meant to have it right here. I've got a Scientific American uh, on how horses and humans how humans evolved with horses. And I'm timing myself. And yeah, I rode a lot of horses. Um, I've been in the hospital from horses, concussions. Um, uh, but yeah, a couple of years ago, I was down in southern Utah and we were doing a horse riding thing, and I had done it mostly as like a bonding thing with my dad, and because he always loved horses. Uh, but it always frustrated me. Uh, yeah, uh, but I got this strong feeling while I was riding the horse that this was like just wrong. And I'm not going to judge anybody if anybody else here uh, loves riding horses, but for myself, I just realized I can't do this again. Um, uh, and I recently read this book, American Nations. And if you haven't read this book and if you're interested in American history and what's going on in politics here, I strongly recommend checking out this book. It's an easy listen on Audible, but it's fascinating talking about the different cultures that came to this country. And one of them, a couple of them brought slavery and how, uh, yeah, just anyway, it really lately it's a thought that I'd been thinking of my whole life, but it really brought up that I feel like as humans we have enslaved horses and other animals, and it's really yeah. I mean chickens. I'm cooking a chicken, but I yeah. It just I how chickens are treated. Uh, anyway, I think that's about all I'm going to say. Is that I think as humans we need to yeah, who the fuck knows? I don't know about humans anymore. That is it for me. Thank you for listening. I hope I'm not the only person that talk about animal rights.
Well, okay, I'll go then. Yeah, I'm pretty sensitive to other creatures and their feelings and stuff, even plants, whatever is like possibly sentient, I think has an inalienable right, like we do, just because we have supposedly a higher thought, uh, doesn't mean we have more rights than they do. I think anyway. Uh, but when you look at nature, it doesn't really seem to mind, like, because you got to eat. Things are killing each other all day long. Uh, I don't know, but yeah, personally, I think that they do have the same rights as anything else. So, and that's where I am on that right there. Thank you.
I was thinking before we met, because this is the first time we covered this topic. I was thinking what's going to be and what I could contribute, and I thought, what would my cats say on the topic of rights? So I realized that, so like I had 4 cats in my life, and probably each of them would list a different bill of rights. So like the tabby would say, I want on my bill of rights the right to be walked on the leash every other day. So it would be on his bill of rights. And the Edita, my first cat, was, and in the time, I hope it was different in your country, but where I lived, there was no things that are obvious now, like the cages that you transport cats to the vet or so on, or even in the smaller town that I lived in with my grandparents, I don't remember even a single shop at the time with the articles for animals. So I arranged one day a visit with my semi-feral Edita to the vet, but I had no, so they told me over the phone or somehow, bring her and we will see whether she needs anything. So I took her to a bag, and she ran out on the bus stop when we waited for the bus stop. So probably on her bill of rights would be, I would like not to be taken to the vet, because she never allowed me to take her. And Fritka would probably put on her bill of rights, I want my water straight from the tap, not from the bowl, like every other cat, and I want to be treated as a princess that I am. So the Charnusha would have on her bill of rights the food, and not be bullied by Fritka on the other hand. And by the end of her life, when she had to go to the vet every now and then, once she escaped from from the cage. I didn't lock it properly, and it was in the car, and I until that time I transported her in the cage for safety, but she climbed on my lap, and she told she let me know that if she has to go to the vet, she would go, but she never in the cage. So she was very, very. She behaved very well on my when I was riding a car, and she was sitting without any disturbance. And later on, I learned to transport her in this jacket. So whether we walked or we go not in this transporter but close to me, so it would be on her bill of rights. So my joke was about Seymour, that Anna complained about the other armchair, that Seymour likes to scratch this armchair, so probably it would be on his bill of rights to be able to scratch this chair. But these are all. I don't know how much. So this was one part of my thoughts, and maybe if so on more serious cases that really would require like a legal protection. So the nonsense cat, yeah, it's about. So maybe if we have another round, maybe I'll add something else. So my suggestion would be ask our pets about, and they would tell us.
Okay, I'll add to something. I'm just going through a very bad time because my former boyfriend died just very, very recently. And he was as much a pet lover as I was. Nicholas is his name. And he's left a real deep creak in me, in my heart, and in some other people's heart. And I'll show you later a picture of him and you'll understand. When it comes to animals, I mean, anima is an Italian word, anima. And for me, animals are, no matter what animal, where it lives, what it is part of me. And I had to make some very bitter experiences actually with animals because of my own incapability of feeling the other, which cost animals life. And in our household, and animals are actually household members and members of the family, and everybody is responsible and not just the children. And very often it's the case that the children cannot care or do not care the way how the parents want it. And then you have this whole issue with the debates in families, and yet it's still the parents' responsibility to see that the animals are well off. And I was very young. My sister had a horse. She was a horseback rider. She wanted to become a jockey. but she died early, like too early to become one. And she was really infatuated with her Irish, not Irish, sorry, was it Iceland horse? It was an Iceland horse, fairly big horse actually, and she loved it very much. And I remember that she, and as well as another friend of mine, when the animal was becoming very sick, they did not go to the vet to put them to sleep, but let them die by themselves. And another friend of mine would also do that. Animals have a right to die. And I mean, of course, animals cannot speak to me, say, well, oh, bring me to the vet and put me to sleep. And yet, I think it's too easy to say sometimes, oh, well, she's old, or he's old, and then you just go to the doctor and put the animal to sleep. And I feel very sorry for that. And I don't have any pets because I have no time for them. And it would be very unjust to have an animal. But when friends are out on vacation or so, and they ask me, are you there? Could you take care of the animals? I'm more than glad to do that. I love to do that, actually. And I have seen how kind people can be with animals. And one of my incredible experiences was actually in Mustang, where I saw a lady coming up to it was a cow, not a yak, a cow, mother cow, and it was the mother cow was the baby cow, and they were walking together, and the woman would approach the mother cow and get some milk from her and then leave again. So there I could really see how there was a harmony between the cow and the mother, because the cow was walking freely in this town, not like on a line or in fenced or whatever. So they were really like living together. Of course, they'll eat these animals at one point, but the whole living process together was so organic. I would call that organic. I've been a vegetarian all my life long, and I've seen once how a rabbit has been killed and stripped off its skin and all that. And I was 5 or 6 years old. I think I was 6, yeah. And I had diarrhea for 4 days afterwards because it just was not fashionable for me. I don't know whether the diarrhea came from that or something else, but I didn't feel good, because I have played with all of those rabbits in this cage just like half an hour before. And I was sent away, and I felt weird because I was sent away, and I was curious, and so I was seeing it actually from hiding. And it was a terrible experience as well, yeah. I'm one of those people that if I see a cat, a dog, I have to pet. it's like they won't get around. It's like, yeah. And I just have to touch them. Yeah. Maybe I'll say something later. Thank you.
I could try to say something, but I'm afraid I don't have much to say about animal rights. My dad is in the hospital, and I've been here like a week and a half, but he went in the hospital about a week ago. But like I go to visit him every day, but when I visited today, he was just sleeping the whole time. And he was supposed to come home yesterday, but he was not, but he's not strong enough. And I just think this is the beginning of the end. So that's what's on my mind. Yeah, he just slept the whole time I was there today. And yesterday when I saw him, the whole time he was like, I want to go home, I want to go home, I want to go home, I want to get out of here, I have to get out of here now. He was just like melting down. So I didn't want to wake him from his sleep and have him be miserable again. So I don't know. But I just have this feeling like it's the beginning of the end of his life. Well, he's 95. I think I will send an email to my sisters and my nieces. And yeah, but the hardest thing when I left Utah 3.5 years ago was leaving my cat. He was my best friend, and I still have regrets about it. But I had to go. I think he forgave me, but I can't forgive myself. Yeah, I found him a new home, but it wasn't as nice, and it wasn't me. I miss my kitty. I hope he's okay. And I don't know. I can't really come up with anything about animal rights, so that's thank you.
Um, I was wondering how to approach this, and I don't really know. I feel like animals have various roles in my life, I guess is maybe the easiest way to do it. So you have, you know, the family animals, right? The ones that are like my children. And you have the animals I watch in nature who have a certain thing about them that's different, right? And then you have the animals who, you know, I eat or I wear or whatever. Um, and I was at one point vegetarian, and then it changed for some reason, and I never changed it back. But I am really, really careful now. Well, in things that I buy to eat, to make sure that they were pastured, that they had freedom when they were alive. And so I'm sort of trying to find the balance in that. And that right now is a reasonable accommodation, but I could see that changing because right now I live in a rural place. And so I can buy eggs from people I know who raised the chickens well or have them almost as pets, right? I mean, it's that sort of situation. And love them, right? It's really nice to see people who love their chickens, and their chickens probably don't like having their eggs taken away every day, but there you go. That is the flip side is they don't get eaten by coyotes very easily, so yay. Um, but I don't know. I mean, animal rights I tend to think of as a lawyer when I use that term, right? So then it is, you know, the right to a cruelty-free existence, right? Which is sort of the best you get in the United States as far as, yeah. I mean, you don't get that in the United States usually for animals that are raised for commercial purposes. Or the right to be protected, right? For species that are protected or things like that. But animals in my life are my children, right? And I actually feel like I you know, when I was a lawyer, I was horrible because I just didn't understand. I didn't pay any attention, but now I do. And I feel like I learned so much from companion animals, right? Like my first ones in my 50s were loving and kind and wonderful and taught me just, you know, those values, both my cat and my dog. And then my last two have been just difficult. And so they're teaching me how to care for little creatures that are difficult. And that's a good lesson too, and much harder, really. Well, I don't know which is harder. But so anyway, I don't know what I have to say about animal rights because they fall in so many categories for me. And so honestly, much of, yeah, it's time. Okay. Okay, bye.
All right, let's do another go around. I guess I'll start. Adriana, I can show the photo from Facebook of your friend if you like. Do you want me to, or are you going to show it later? Okay. I'll anyway. I just have one more thing to talk about animal rights, um, and I have to say that oh, I better time myself. Uh, I uh, I really appreciate this go around because you know, I just get like in my head about things, and uh, you know, I have an open mind, and I read news, and I see in nature how like the spider kills my box elder bug pets, and you know, I see things happen in nature that I wish didn't happen, and what Rick said about plants. I mean, yeah, I feel that way too. It's just it's really a rabbit hole. But listening to all of you, you've really given me a lot to think about, and I'm just gonna like give a shout out to. Well, I don't know. Is it okay, Adriana, if I give a shout out about that photo that I saw of your friend, and his companionship with that with the bird really touched me. But I want to also point out like how
Yes,
much
you
of a
can do that if you have that picture. Otherwise,
oh,
I'll show it from
I'll
here. Yeah,
okay, I'll let you do that. Um, but and thank you.
you can do that because I don't know how to do it.
Okay, I'll do it. I want to show though what a rabbit hole uh, what a rabbit hole caring is. And you know, holy fuck. And like and you know, you see it just not only in four-leggeds or you know winged, but even amongst humans, how human groups can otherize, you know, other people and not see them as people, and then hence problems happen, you know, abuses, and not only other cultures, but gosh, anyway. But a couple of years ago, I became fascinated with fluff, uh, and like you know, the this is like a little diorama. I don't know if you can see it. It's a diorama that I have. I have some fluff in there. Um, anyway, maybe I'll post a picture sometime. Rick knows I'm actually making a little movie. I haven't worked on it in a while, but I've got I studied fluff. I was yeah, pretty heartbroken about other things, and I thought, well, I'll focus on fluff. And you see them floating, and the more you observe them, the more you realize they're weird. And I collected fluff throughout the neighborhood, and it my fluff that I found didn't match anything from the plants around here. And I really dove, fell into this investigation. Like, what the fuck are these? Are they animal? Are they plants? Are they something in between? Like, anyway, I'm just fascinated. You know, are the ones in here? I don't know. I'm not going to go there. But it's really a rabbit hole because, like, I have like fluff, and I really like worried. Like, what do I do with it? I don't want to hurt it. I'm not going to dissect it. What if it has feelings? Um, Caring is a weird thing. Uh, yeah, I guess that's all I can say. It's interesting. Sorry, I'm going to share something. I'm going to share a picture, and then Adriana, if you want to go next or whenever you want me to share it, I will. I can share it right now. Okay, here we go. Doop, 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 doop.
All right, I'll say something about it. Nicholas and I, we have met over 30 years ago, and him and I, we just loved each other very much, and we never lost each other. He lived in New York, and he's one of not even a handful of people that work on bassoons. A bassoon is an instrument. In German, the German word would be Fagott, which looks like, let's see if I can make it visible for you people. That's what he played. Like, let's see. See, this is the instrument. The way how Nicholas has been with animals was very exceptional, because the birds, this was the second bird he had, and he adopted both of these birds, and these birds had a home called cage, but they hardly ever were in the cage, actually. When he was playing the bassoon, they would sit on the S, on that metal thing. He would sit there and enjoy the music. And he had a cat, also adopted before, and Miles, that was the name of this bird, who actually is a girl, died approximately 2 weeks before he actually died. And Nicholas died suddenly, so nobody knows yet. He hasn't written a will, and nobody has access to his house or to the place where he lives, which is all very complicated. When we would walk anywhere in the neighborhood, see an animal, we would do the same movements, approach the animals, see if the animal is okay of being approached even more, and we would just cuddle the animal, and just not stop cutting the animal until the owner would come. And not chasing it away, but like until the person had to leave. And it comes for animal rights. I mean, I had to learn it in a very bitter way, and lost animals in my very young childhood. We always had some animals, like we had mice, we had gerbils, we had birds, we had cat, no dogs. My sister had the horse, and they were always animal like members. We had a turtle. We had sometimes even 2 turtles, because we adopted a turtle that was hurt and we healed it, but it would never leave again. And my mom, even, who is now also about to leave, which is sad, but she's 90 and she's very weak. And it's very, very sad to see how this very brilliant mind is actually observing herself, how her body is declining, because she's highly intelligent, very smart, and very there, and she just sees how she can't do things anymore. It's like one day she was signing something, said, Adriana, see, I can't work. I said, yes, I'll help you. And I felt so sorry. This genius of a person not being able to finish the letters of a word. And the way how she treats animals is just, we always had cats, many cats, and the cat might maybe everywhere, wherever it wants to be, on the table, even while she was eating, whatever. Like never. The animal was part of the family, and since it was not an animal that would be out of the house, like was a like an apartment cat. At night, the cat would lie down on her and take care of her. One cat always sleeps around her head like an Oreo, like an aura, you know. It's just, yeah, and that is, it shows. I mean, another friend of mine, Pamela, she actually opened a shelter, or like she rescued a shelter in New Mexico. I should invite her to this here. And the way how she treats animals is just amazing. Like she's like this, what we call this odd woman that has like all these cats around in her garden, like 15 cats, you know. But yeah, and I don't eat any animals, and I never will. Yeah. One thing for all of you. Can you see this? My animals, they're actually on a it's hard to show that because
Can you move it back a little bit? It's in a sort, move it by your
here we go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And these three guys here, and then I'm done, are made out of tin cans in Africa. It's an elephant, a buffalo, and a rhinoceros. Sweetly made. All right, thank you. Thank you so much.
Meg reminded me of a funny episode on Portlandia, if you ever watched that, when they go to a restaurant, Armitage and his girlfriend, and they're ordering chicken, but they want to make sure they've got to know how the chicken was raised.
Yeah.
So they go check out where it was raised and end up joining a cult that's up there, and then that carried over into some more episodes. That reminded me of that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, around here it's very hard to know how a chicken was raised. Sorry, we're still circling, we're not cross talking. Go ahead.
Well, we have about 5 minutes, so it's fine with me if you want to drop the circle format and just
Yeah.
riff off of each other. That's fine.
My nephew is a chef, and he cooks for companies, right? And so when I saw him at Thanksgiving, we were having a discussion, and the people who he cooks for range from, you know, devout vegans to, you know, sort of paleo types. So, you know, he has to cook a lot of different things. They almost never cook chicken, actually, because his theory, and I've heard it before, is if you're going to cook meat, then from a cruelty standpoint, and around here, actually, from a how they were raised standpoint, it's better to like kill one big animal than a lot of little ones. And so they serve beef when they're going to serve actual meat to people. Yeah, it's very, once you start looking at animal cruelty in food, it becomes harder and harder to eat them.
Definitely.
Which doesn't stop me from doing it. I still do, but I do eat a lot less of them than I used to.
I want to just check in. I know that Mark and Izzy and I just want to check in and see if either of you wanted a Zirkle, wanted another.
Put it near your face. Oh, there.
That's
Great.
my dad.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago, or about a month ago, with my
Oh.
with my sister. It's weird how it comes in and out of focus.
Mm. Yeah.
He doesn't. He looks not as good. Oh, just wanted to show
He
you
looks
that.
pretty young for, I mean,
For 95, yeah.
yeah,
But I mean,
yeah, he does not look 95.
that was a few weeks ago. Now he's going down, but
Mm.
we'll see. So yeah, that's all. I just wanted to show you. Thank you for being here.
Mm.
And I care about animals, but I don't know what to say beyond that.
Mark, did you have another thing that you wanted to address in a second go around? Give you time.
Yes, I had, but I'm very sorry to hear the sad news about Adriana Prince and the sadness in Izzy's family now. And on about this, I thought we came here to today to include animals in circles of rights, but we are also animals, so we don't have to exclude humans on this very occasion from our gathering. So I hope it's not offending for any of you for me to say so. And the other thing that I had today, so it was at first I was partly joking, partly imagining what my cats would say about animal rights, but the legal protection of animal rights, of course, we have some difficult cases that you think what to do with this with these problems. So I'm watching on YouTube. There is some Korean group. I don't know. It's an NGO. Is it a gray bird, Meg? So maybe it's an NGO, or maybe there is some municipal service. Anyway, they are very well organized and apparently well financed as well, and they save animals from all kind of troubles when they like from the very high places that let's say a cat went into, or sometimes they had to destroy a part of the buildings to save the animals. And there is really a lot of those cases, like 3 digits, I say well over 100. And among those cases, there are, I think, 3 that they dealt with really intentional cruelty on the side of people toward animals, that they had to involve police. So what I wanted to say that in the, let's say, in 100 or 200 cases, there are 2 or 3 that are really you don't know what to say, like some people that are just poisoning cats because they think they are pests, or I think there were 3 cases in 200 or 300, and obviously they require some legal protection, in our I have already on another occasion expressed my concern about this koan with cats that we have in our curriculum that I also don't know what to do with this this story being still in our text. Okay, thank you.
Hey, Anna, is that you
Just
flying droning all over?
say that again.
Is that you flying droning all over the United States?
Yeah, it is. Actually, did you get so Michael came over to tell me that he's got one of those spiders, one of those Saltessid spiders, jumping spider. Marek, sorry for cutting you off. I think we need to like open it up for just chit chat. Um, Mark, you always give us so much to think about, and I really appreciate that. So I feel bad for doing that. No, it's not me flying droney. We do have Michael has now a spider living on his computer. So that is the breaking news, you guys. Maybe
I did.
maybe
I
I'll-
did go to council circles at your house in Salt Lake City. I remember on your balcony, but they were just council circles. They weren't with a topic.
Yeah, that was before, I think, but I remember that.
I didn't go to any of your themed
Mind meets.
thing. Mind meets, no, but just the council circles. That was my first time with them.
Huh.
It made quite an impression.
Aw.
Adriana, that picture was just so touching. I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful photo, and it just shows this spirit that is, I don't know, I don't have any real words for it, but it was just beautiful. So thank you for sharing that.
You're very welcome. Yeah, Nicholas was my mother. She loved Nicholas too. She just loved him. He was such a soul, you know. He was such a heart, you know, and you could have seen the two of us. We were like sometimes like an old couple, you know. It's like you couldn't even argue and fight, you know. But we were like this, you know, and like we do this. Yeah, it's sad. And my mom is also declining, and it's like these two beloved people, you know. It's like, gosh, you know, and I've lost so many. You know, I've lost 12, 11 people since 2020, and that's a lot. And
Wow.
almost no more friends, you know. And I'm really lonely here in Germany, really lonely. And yeah, and I thought I would see him in March, April in New York. That's it. I will never come again to New York because even this falls away now because I don't know anybody anymore in New York, like where I would be staying, right? And yeah, it's sad. It's really sad. And the way how he was treating animals. I mean, Nicholas would eat also meat, and I'm like different. I say, well, yeah, you had a beautiful life, and now I go chop. No, I say you have a beautiful life, and it's done when the time comes naturally. A friend of mine has chicken, and she eats the eggs of the chicken. And sometimes the chickens they do something we call a Klucken in German, and that's when they actually are breeding. And then she will let the chicken breed. So the chicken have their way of doing this, you know, and so she knows when to pick an egg. And when the chicken is getting old, she lets the chicken die. She's not going to kill or eat the chicken. And it's so funny because they run around the motorcycles. Her boyfriend or her husband is and I know her through her husband actually. He has a Harley Davidson and you see a chicken sitting on a Harley Davidson. It looks pretty funny. They like members. Then they have two cats. And cat and chicken go get along. Yeah, I think I'm very grateful that you have put up the topic and was about animal rights, and I think they have a damn right to be here and to be loved and to be taken care of. And I'm actually a member of PETA, PETA. I don't know if you ever heard of this organization. And I donate quite a bit there so this can be realized. And
I think a lot of us, probably a lot of us here, members of PETA. or at least,
something.
I eat animals, so I sort of feel hard like there's certain, and I wear leather. So
And tell you something, I'm wearing a Dawn jacket and even a Dawn trousers. I'm not heating, but I would never buy these things anymore. As a matter of fact, I got this here for free, and the trousers I got secondhand. I try to buy secondhand or not at all anymore. As a matter of fact, that's one thing I really love. I have to go to the city. It's in the middle of Christmas time. I do not celebrate at all any Christmas. I have nothing to do with that. And yet I go through the city and it feels like, oh, it's so great. I don't need anything. There's nothing I need, you know. You just go through the city and there's no hurry, no hectic. There's nothing I need because I got everything I need. It's great, isn't it?
yeah.
That's a good part, you know. When you reach a certain age, there's nothing you need anymore. As a matter of fact, I'm going to sell things now because I don't need them anymore. I'll probably donate that money again. Oh, I'm glad I see you all. And Izzy, I have to send you a very warm hug because I know how much pain it is, like to lose parents.
Thank you very much.
And I
Very
love
much
you.
appreciate that. Thank
I
you.
love you so much. You're such a warm person. I really appreciated your appearance here in my home. And you're welcome back again and again and again. Please
Thank
come
you.
back.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Well, one thing I feel like I've seen in this last hour from everyone is how much love there is, right? Whether it is the love of our companion animals or of wild animals or of the people who are important to us. And I feel as I get older, all this sort of zen blah, you know, my feeling about everything is they're all teaching us how to love, right? The world can teach us how to love if we pay attention to that. And it's very easy to lose track of that, especially when you're looking at sort of broader issues. But these little creatures, you know, who come into our lives in particular are so easy to love. They can be complicated, but they're not the way people are complicated.
May I ask what fluff is? What's fluff? I'm trying to like you were saying what it is. Like, is it an animal? What do you how do you spell that word?
Yeah, I don't know either. Thank you for asking.
here, I'll show you and then you'll know.
FLUFF.
Yeah, FLUFF, it's fluff.
Fluff is something like fluffy, you know, that flies
Like
around.
a down coat. It's full of fluff.
Like
Yeah,
little seed pods that float around in Utah.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
like
Oh, you're
That
talking
too.
about plant fluff.
Oh,
we
yeah,
listen,
like
we don't
yeah.
we don't know exactly. I'm not convinced. I'm still studying them, you guys. Still studying the fluff. Now these fluffs are different from the other fluffs.
These
You'll have
are propeller fluffs.
you'll have to wait for my movie to. Whoops,
Oh.
sorry. There's a pig there.
Oh,
Pig.
that.
Little pig.
Oh.
Sorry. I don't know where I got that. I probably stole it from a kid, but I think I'm going to turn it into jewelry. I've had it for like probably 40 decades, but I'm going to make a movie, and in the movie you will learn that the fluff that is back there in my diorama is a little bit different from this fluff. These are obvious. Most of these are obviously seed pods, and I took these from plants. But there's another kind of fluff that has. You'll have to wait for the movie. Anyway, sorry. There. You know, I really appreciate. Thank you, Meg, for saying like maybe that would be a nice thing if we all do like a quick go around and say, you know, if anything comes up, like what our I don't know, whatever. If you have anything that you want to kind of wrap it up with a bow or whatever, I really appreciate hearing other people's perspectives because I've been, yeah, obviously on the thinking about, yeah, horses and how we treat each other uh, for uses, right? And it's good to open it up and hear other people's perspectives and get out of my head. So that's my wrap up. I pass it on to whoever else wants to wrap up.
I'm reminded of Planet of the Apes. Like, like if like um because we were the animals, like Merrick was saying in that film, you know, and just trade places, see how it feels. And yeah, so you got that. And also chicken is a lot of people don't eat it anymore because there's so much use steroids so much that the nutrition is gone.
Huh.
They say turkey is better now. But and my condolences, Izzy.
Thank you.
Much, yeah. At least, I mean, 95. Yeah, I hope I get that old.
Yeah, well,
That's amazing.
it
Amazing
is.
life. Yeah,
We'll see what happens. That's just my sense.
yeah,
It's a pretty strong sense, though. Thank you.
yeah. You bet.
I,
That's all I got.
I just want to jump in once quickly on the photo of your dad, which I thought was so wonderful. And I love the idea. I know it's so hard when a parent is nearing, the end, no matter how close it is. When you can start seeing it, it's hard. But oh my gosh, he looked so happy. I hope he is as happy as he looked in that photo, because it was just such a lovely photo. And I hope, however long I live, that, a month before people start thinking it's the end or whatever, I can look that happy. I can be that happy. How wonderful is that?
Thank you. Yeah, he was.
Right.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, you're right. Thank you. Just thank you to everyone. They're really nice to be together. And the animals are important. I just didn't know what to say. So, thank you.
I'm glad you came even not knowing what to say, Izzy. That's
Thank you.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Graybeard is a pain in the butt these days. He is just so bitey.
Ooh.
Like a week ago, he was just all cuddly, and now he's like,
Just pet him for me.
oh, he does not want to be petted. He will bite me when I pet him right now. He wants my arm to be a toy. I can scritch the top of his head, but even that, he just wants my arm to be a toy. Hey, see?
I think he's frisky. I think he's flirting with you, actually.
Oh, he wants to play, right? He's like, oh, this looks like the thing to play with. Oh,
Yeah,
He loves you.
young cat.
yeah. I think he probably was taken away from his family too young, or lost his family too young, because he's exhibiting like 4-month-old kitten behavior at almost 2. So I think that's, he would probably be happy. But he doesn't like other cats. He just likes to play with arms.
Have you tried doing the same behavior back to him? Maybe that's what he maybe that's what he needs is that's his communication, his love language, and maybe if yeah, a little bit. I don't know. Sometimes I do that with Seymour, it's you look at him. Oh my word. He loves you. He loves you.
Yeah, see, I need to teach him not to do that, because if I don't keep him, that is unadoptable behavior.
See.
Just picking up and cuddling him like really like this. Maybe he stops.
Oh
now.
God, no. Oh.
Meg, Meg, Meg. I think I have a theory that cats have, you know how mother cats pick up the
Yeah.
babies at the scruff? So I do this with Seymour too. I'll whap him on the back of his neck here, and I think it triggers, try it, whap him on the back of the neck and grab it
Yeah.
like this.
Hey,
I think it, oh, well, this may be it. I think that triggers like oxytocin and feel good chemicals for cats when you like just really firmly grab them at their, you know, the shoulders, neck. Anyway, maybe for another time, experiment. But tell me how it goes.
Well, I'll tell you something about that. You shouldn't really actually pick up a cat anymore
No.
as an adult. But what you could do is like you can grab that area and say no. But otherwise it's not good. Anyways,
No, and I'm suggesting just like what I do at Seymour is I just give him pressure and like a squeeze, like a massage squeeze,
Yeah.
like what you were talking about. And I think it triggers like relaxation. It reminds them of their mother when their mother would gently bite them back there, like telling them to stop. But yeah, I'm not advocating picking them up.
no, but that flesh is very you can lift it right there a little bit,
Mhm.
right? So you grab it and you can lift it a little bit, and that I think would simulate the mom picking them up without actually doing the picking up part. I see what you're saying, Anna.
Or massaging it. Yeah, just
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think Meg, is it possible that he sensed that his situation is a little bit unstable?
You know,
Uncertain?
honestly, I think he's gotten a little worse in the last few days, and his situation is less unstable. I am thinking more and more that I will try and find a way to keep him instead of I'm just fostering him. I'm thinking more and more that I will try and see if there's a way to keep him.
And
he's
maybe
a teenager. Teenager.
yeah, so maybe the time is needed and some patience and maybe that's all. And
Yeah. No, he just needs to play, and it's hard because I'm not really, rolling around on the floor with him, which is what he needs. He needs a small creature to roll around on the floor with him, as opposed to an old creature who's like, "Come, sit on my chest. That's okay."
well,
I want to say thank you to everybody for sharing, different stories from your life, and each of them very very touching. Starting from Anna's horse that I didn't know about, and of course the friends of Adriana, and once again he's his father, and it's probably didn't expect it would be that intense, and thank you for opening up and for sharing with us this.
Yeah, thank you all.
yeah.
Any last parting words? It's 11:21.
I just say something. First of all, I would like to thank everybody, yes, as I just did. And because you were talking about horses, and I just heard this terrible news, which I didn't know, is that a lot of the so-called steaks that you can buy in Germany, like in a steakhouse, it's not even from a cattle. It's actually from Argentinian horses. Race horses that are not fast enough anymore, that are not good enough anymore. And I mean, just think about all the steroids these animals get injected.
Wow.
And yeah, so that's the big lie about cattle meat, huh?
Hmm.
Pretty scary.
Wow.
Yeah. it's disgusting too. I mean, how they treat animals. I mean, that's the way how it is. I mean, go to Pamplona in the spring. They have these bull fights there where they eventually kill the animal. I mean, it's where are we? You know? And yeah. So, and I do know that in Germany as well, there are like horse butchers. I think they have them all over, and usually the horses are race horses that
Mm.
get injured and then get killed and then eaten. And no matter what animal you eat, unless it's from an organic farm, all other animals that are being eaten are full with bad medicines and always think of it. No matter how good the life of an animal was, if you kill it, something happens with the adrenaline, and all that adrenaline, all frozen in the animal. You know,
Cortisol.
Mm.
and if you need a source of protein and all that, we know well enough that it's a lot of this meat eating and milk drinking was promoted for a certain industry. And there's nothing wrong with having milk or an egg, whatever, once in a while. But in a factory way of life, no. So whoever wants to live like that, I'll let people live like that. I'm not a, what do you call it? I'm not a mission. I'm not on a mission to make more people vegetarians, but that's my feelings about it.
Mm.
I'm glad we had this issue here today. And I'm still,
Mm.
it's and I'm pretty sure, Izzy, that your cat is in good hands. I mean, I've seen the photos. I was immediately infatuated with your cat.
He's a real sweetie. He's like a person. Everybody always said he was like a man in a cat's body. He was so kooky. He was so funny.
I'll let you the word, Izzy. I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Well, good to see you all.
Love you all.
You too.
I'm giving
Bye,
you the squirrel,
guys.
the squirrel mudra. The squirrel
What is
mudra.
this? What is
Squirrel
this?
mood.
See the squirrel?
I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Oh.
Don't you see the squirrels when they go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like their heart mudra. You know, and it makes me wonder, like, you know, if you've ever taken kung fu, you know, so kung fu, as
Yeah,
you know,
there's
was
one.
started. Kung fu was started in Shaolin by Bodhidharma, right? Our Zen ancestor, and they either do this or
Oh,
this.
yeah.
I wonder if they got this from the squirrels.
Could be. Could
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
Okay, love you.
Bye, you
Thank you for
guys.
being here. And if you want to make comments, I'll post this in the thing, and then feel free to continue the conversation in the comments on the blog. All right, see you soon, I hope.
Bye, you guys. Thank
Bye.
you.
Lots of love to you all.
Same.
Aw.